Hello, friends. Welcome to the Noclip Podcast. It's episode 278. We're here with the current crew. Jesse Gracia is still raising children. How many children? It's impossible to tell. Jeremy, how many babies do you think a human has?
in general?
In a litter. Yeah.
Between like 1 and I would say 16
unlikely.
is the upper limit.
Yeah, it's true. Exactly. Yeah, I agree. Frank Howley, how many children can you juggle at one time?
I mean, it'd have to be like I could try 2 babies.
Probably. 2 babies. Yeah, you could try. Be a risky effort, you know? That's a lot of lives on the line. Because I feel like if I'm juggling, I never drop just one ball. I usually drop all of the balls, you know? So you're really taking your well, not your life in your own hands. Actually, literally 2 other things' lives in their own hands. No caps. If you had to juggle babies, which animal would you pick to juggle? What would be the easiest? Actually, not even easiest. Maybe you're a sadist. Maybe you want to kill things. What would you choose to juggle?
I think I'm gonna have to go turtle because it's kind of like ball-ish shaped. It like won't move around. It just go into its shell.
Okay, yeah, it's a good. I was thinking of ball animals, and I went with hedgehog, completely forgetting the primary thing hedgehogs are known for. And although, yeah, I mean, make it hard to juggle if they're stuck to your hands. Maybe that's like a technical forfeit. You could go with eggs as well, although I don't know if technically those are babies yet. You could have a rooster fertilize one, and then maybe see what's going on. Hey, these are the crack questions we're here to answer here on the Noclip Podcast. We have a lot of games to talk about today. We're going to talk about Titanium Court, Love Eternal, Mouse PI, Yunyun Syndrome, Shapez 2, a little bit of Pragmata and Windrose catch-ups, and also the latest Arc Raiders update, I guess you'd call it. It's a pretty big one. Riven Tides dropped just this morning, and I played about an hour of it before we went live just now, so we can talk about that too. So loads on emails and loads of other stuff. So let's crack straight into it. First of all, though, our incredible Battle Pass holders. Shout out to everyone who supports us at Noclip, patreon.com/Noclip and Noclip2, patreon.com/Noclip2. There's a big patron show that just went up on Noclip. Talking about some sort of ideas I've had around Noclip, especially sort of with the crazy. I mean, we've had a crazy 5 years, but even the past year, just the projects we picked, really big series like Dwarf Fortress and Disco Elysium, which I'm really proud of of doing those. But with the current look at the industry and the current like situation we find ourselves in, sort of coming up on our 10th anniversary, that like honestly a lot of the big studios we've done, a lot of contemporary games, you know, the contemporary games we're covering these days, we're covering on Noclip too. The interesting stuff is happening in kind of a different space to what we've traditionally covered on Noclip over the years. And we're doing a great job on Noclip too, I think, of doing that, you know, everything from, you know, the smallest underground indie game all the way to the Legend of California. Like we're doing quite a lot over there. And I've just sort of, it's been, you know, I've had this on my mind for about a year, sort of like what we do once we get through some of these big projects. Also, obviously, we've got other stuff like Cyberpunk, Hades 2, Everbloom, and a bunch of other cool stuff in post-production at the moment. But yeah, just kind of thinking about what our mission is over on Noclip. And, you know, to me, I think it's getting back to doing, you know, retrospectives on really important classic games and things like that. So, yeah, and obviously the tapes and other bits and bobs like that. So if you have any interest in that and learning about some of the projects we're working on, we talk about Jeremy's project as well, which is pretty much almost. I mean, it's been almost done for like a year now. He's been waiting for me to basically just give some feedback on it. So if you're interested in all those, including I announced another project that we're working on that we hadn't mentioned before. Myself and Frank are going to be filming in about 2 weeks' time. I thought I was filming one of those interviews today, but then realized that I'd gotten the month wrong. So I'm actually filming it May 28th, which is great thing to realize at 4 p.m. yesterday while I was, I thought I was going to have to quickly drive down to San Francisco today to film stuff, but I don't. Instead, I have to quickly drive down to San Francisco tomorrow to finish the last of our Hades 2 interviews, but that'll be good fun. Checking in with our friends over at Supergiant Games. But none of this would be possible without our patrons, including our incredible Battle Pass holders, Charles Atkinson, Brian Baru, Little Toast, Yosh, Dwayne the Rock Lobster, Anthony Thomas, Nico Passateri, It's a me, Ferrario, Senator Armstrong, Reed Dredge, Harry Flanagan, Juice, Arno, Matt Pearson, Mark Rojas, Quote, Tucker Morgan, David McGarry, Goddison, Sven Hooster, Pez, Bone Mold, John Akers, Ewan Nate, Tim Robinson, Forrest Pruitt, Dark Insanities, Jonathan Kremen, Eric Hamilton Schneider, Christoph Fatui, Grizzly Mug, Cameron Ladd, Zachary Snader, Alex Goucher, George Sakotis, Jacob Godserve, Anthea Jen, James Med, and Ryson. Thank you all so much. You beautiful, beautiful people. Let's talk about beautiful people and beautiful games. Jeremy Jane, let's start with you. Titanium Court. This game won the the grand prize, I think, of the IGF this year. The developer previously also was one of the winners the previous year with Consume Me. So on a bit of a roll, let's see if they can make 3 times the charm next year. Or maybe they've deserved a break. Maybe that's a bit more appropriate. So this is coming from AP Thompson, fellow traveler, sure, published it. I do not envy you having to explain what the hell this thing is.
Yeah, I had no idea what it was going in. All I knew was that the Steam capsule image was the guy doing the soy jack face in front of a billboard that said Titanium Corp in glorious sort of like blue and pink pixel art. So Titanium Corp it's okay. I had to look up the tagline before I tried to explain it. A surreal strategy game for clowns and criminals. So that elucidates literally fucking nothing. This is a match 3 game that is also a strategy game of sorts, not a strategy game that I would compare to any other strategy game, but it's also sort of like has these interstitial RPG bits that are surreal and kind of Shakespearean a little bit. There's like I don't know, it feels inspired by so many things, and it's like it's such a bizarre mixture of those things. That's what I find very fascinating about it. I feel like it's not even really a game that's sort of targeting my interests as a player of games, but it's so odd and esoteric and surreal and singular that I've kind of found myself won over by it over time. So what you do in this game is you're transported into sort of like a magical kingdom of like fairies and knights and gunboats and like all sorts of weird mismatched things. And it seems to be like vaguely related to the real world. There are sort of like elements of the real world that are there, like relics, like there will be like a parking sign randomly. But these are not recognized by the people in this realm except for you. So I don't know if this is like post history. I don't know if this is like a parallel realm with crossover or whatever. But the way you play this game is there are like story bits between these sort of gameplay segments, but the gameplay segments themselves are a match 3 segment where the tiles are various pieces of terrain. So like hills, trees, water, fields of grain, volcanoes, and you do a sort of limited amount of time on the match 3 board in which you're attempting to sort of like strategically reshuffle the board. When you match various tiles, you get resources for the second phase of the play session, which is like basically you take the resources that you earned, and on the play field that you've created in the match 3 game, you now do a sort of like strategy game-esque thing. It's not like an RTS. You're not like controlling things. More like you recruit a bunch of units who are autonomous, and you use like powers that you either find or purchase, and you basically just try to like set up the dominoes in such a way that when you hit the first domino, they fall in a favorable manner. And it's really fascinating. It's got sort of like this weird like ant farm appeal to it or something. When you set up the pieces in a way, just like watching it and kind of crossing your fingers and hoping it plays out nicely is legitimately exciting. Like I don't know. At first I was kind of like, oh, I want to be able to like control these guys. I want to like send them to the castles. I want them to attack or whatever. But just sort of enjoying the chaos and learning the rules. It's a very like rules based game. It's about absorbing a lot of information and kind of synthesizing it all together into coherent strategies. But yeah.
How much of the game is that? Because, I played the demo for a bit and a lot of it also seemed to be the sort of surrealist storytelling aspect of this. And obviously there's parts of it where, I feel like a lot of, at least in the demo again, a lot of the action of the quote unquote game part of this game was infused with that sort of sensibility, I guess. Does that stuff ease off a bit, or is it, how much of it is playing the game and how much of it is experiencing the journey, I guess?
It's probably like there are little story moments that will occur. So the game is sort of run based, basically. Between these runs, you will have little sort of interstitial story moments where you're exploring the court and talking to various people who live in the castle, conferring with advisors and things like that. And there are sort of like elements there that build up over time where you can accrue things during runs and then allocate them. It's not like I expected it to be more roguelite-y where it was, allocating 20 stone and now you can do this or whatever. It's way weirder than that. It's like accruing a bunch of resources and then building like a wall to help a cat access a high shelf in the pantry. It's very odd fucking things. I would say the split is probably, I don't know, 30-70, with the 70 being gameplay. And the 30 being narrative. Like I said, there are little moments that will pop up where in the middle of a run, that'll be like, there's something strange on the battlefield. What is this? And then your advisors will chime in and be like, I'll say one just to give sort of a flavor of the game. I mentioned a parking sign. There was one point where there was a no parking sign, the P with the cross through it. And all of my advisors were speculating on what this might be. And you as the one sort of like human, interspersed into this world are like, oh, it's a no parking sign. It's like, so cars can't park near there. And they're like, yes, a car. It seemed that's some sort of like mortal device. It's like a giant metal ogre or a troll. And then they start like going off about how this is like a ward that like wards off cars. Like they don't fully understand the purpose of it. Yeah.
That's cool.
So there's this kind of interesting like I don't know, like what is it? Maybe like labyrinth or something like that. Like I like this sort of like human transposed into the world of fairies, and then sort of them misunderstanding very ordinary things. I think it gives an interesting flavor to this stuff. And yeah, that's the other thing that's weird about this is like I think this game could have been played more just straight fantasy. It could have just been like ogres and knights and all this sort of tropes and played it completely straight. Humor is very hit or miss in games for me. I think that like humor is subjective in general. And for me, there's like a high bar for humor. And when it falls flat, it's like, it's not just like, oh, that's not for me. It's like, oh, that was fucking awful. I like the humor in this. It kind of won me over time. It's this like silly sort of madcap Shakespearean sense of humor. I think it's really interesting and compelling. And I keep saying Shakespeare, but there's a character named Puck in this, and there's a lot of sort of like vague allusion to Shakespearean tropes as well as fantasy.
The game opens, or at least the demo did, as like, all the world's a stage kind of.
Yes.
Like the curtains pull back and things like that.
Yeah, there's a nice monologue in the beginning about how there's like a show going on, and it's like the script isn't finished yet, and that they're like they're racing to finish writing the script while you play the game or watch the performance. So yeah, there's that. That's the other thing is like I think that when a game wins the Seamus McNally Award, I'm often sort of keeping an eye towards like what is it about this that impressed a bunch of people who have played a lot of games and understand what makes games good and compelling and unique, and not just like good in the sense of I played this game and had a fun time with it, but like impressed people with its craft as a game. And I think what Titanium Court does that is so impressive to me is it's very like meta aware of itself as a game and as a piece of media. And it seems but not in a way where it's like wink and a nod, fourth wall break, although it does do some of that. It's more, it's that it's like playing into your expectations of what a game will do or what like a piece of media does as like an interactive experience. And then sort of like drawing you into that to create these weird moments of surrealism that I think is more interesting than I like when things do like RPG tropes or whatever, and then it's like, oh, like Earthbound, for example, where it's like, it's not a sword, it's a baseball bat, and it's like, they do like surreal, stupid versions of things. I like that this game, instead of doing that, it's I don't know how to explain it. It's like it creates more like surreal moments rather than just being like satirical. But yeah, it's hard to say anything without spoiling it. But I highly recommend it. I like this game a lot.
Awesome. No Caps, did you play the demo at all of this, or have you touched it?
I did play the demo. Yeah, I haven't played the full game, but I was definitely intrigued, to say the least. Like, especially with just how the story is presented, and then it's also match 3 for some reason.
Yeah.
It seems like something I'd be into, though, based on your description.
Yeah, it's a wild thing. I think people should obviously stick at even the Steam page is esoteric. Like, there's the last like couple of images are just are the same screenshot with like a dialogue option that has like a ... and then the next one just has one more dot, and the next one has one more dot, and the last one says, "What are you still doing here? The screenshots ended a while ago." Like, it's just like taking the piss as much as it can. I'm with you on the comedy stuff. I think me and Jesse talked about this a month or two ago on the pod about how, just the nature of comedy being so subjective, and like you said, there is the worst thing is when comedy doesn't hit. It's like when things aren't funny, it is like negative damage. It's like psychic damage. I think that's why comedy games are hard, because I think, especially in the age of this era of the internet, you can really rub people up the wrong way if you get it wrong. Like, I feel like Borderlands, I'm not into the comedy in that series, but I do think there is a sort of a hard backlash to it, which probably stems from that feeling of just like, like a bad joke experience or whatever. I feel like mileage probably varies on this stuff, but it looks cool. I mean, what a wild game. I'm kind of keeping it to like an evening when I have, I'm in the right sort of mood for it. Like a good comedy movie.
Yeah, the other thing, because you mentioned like comedy that works in games and doesn't, I think one of the funniest jokes of the whole game is that it's like an art game that is using match 3, which is probably sort of the most like junk genre. Like, there's nothing wrong with match 3. It's just like, to me, match 3 is what your friend's grandma plays on her like Pentium 2 in the living room.
Yeah. When it started and it was a match 3 game, I was like, oh, is this a joke? Like, is this like, this is what you're doing? But then, it like deconstructs it and almost immediately into this weird other thing, which is cool. I feel like a lot of the stuff we cover on Noclip 2 does that too, though. It's like, oh, it's a first-person shooter, but actually, like, it's doing this whole other thing, and it's very aware of its first-person stuff, or it's a platformer, but it's like, oh wait, I'll give it a minute,
That's also a very Shakespearean thing as well, in a way that I hadn't realized until now, that Shakespeare would often write for multiple audiences within the same piece, and so there was like the groundlings were like the people in front who were like the low class people, so there was like a high art moment where everyone's crying in the back, and then followed by like a dick joke. I feel like having like an art game that's a match 3 game is like, I don't know, your grandma might accidentally play this and be like, oh, I was moved by the eloquence of Titanium Court.
It was a great experience. Now I'm gay. It's like it opened up the third eye in the older person, like in a way they weren't experiencing.
Hell yeah.
Sorry, not now I'm gay. No, I've realized I'm gay. Although if she's your grandmother, probably bi, or just really committed to fitting in. I guess in that situation. How many grandmothers would you juggle? Is a question. For another day. Titanium Core, $10.19 at the moment. $10.19. It's $12.74 usually. Is there a joke here that I'm not picking up on, or is that Hitler's birthday, or?
No, Hitler's birthday is
it's 420.
It's 420, yeah.
Yeah, it's also Shane Hogan and John Hayden's birthday in my primary school class, which we never forgot to remind them that they were born on Hitler's birthday. Hope you're doing well, Shane and John, if you're out there listening. $10.19 at the moment, 20% off. There's also a bunch of different bundles you can pick up, including the IGF Excellence in Narrative Bundle 2026, which has Promise Mascot Agency, Perfect Tides, Baby Steps, and Wednesdays. Wednesdays might be the only one of these games we've not covered. Have any of you played Wednesdays? It was released on March 25th.
Was it released on a Wednesday?
God, if it wasn't, could you imagine? What an absolute
It was a Wednesday.
nightmare that would be. It was on a Wednesday.
Thank
Thank you. Yeah, thank you for figuring that out. It's what is this? It's a puzzle game. Incredible art style. This thing. Maybe it's
Oh god, it's a
visual
very
novel?
heavy description.
Part video game, part graphic novel. Wednesday seeks to race aware. Oh boy. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. That's it. You're right. Very serious content. So much.
Let me just stop before anyone makes any further jokes about the game. It seems very serious.
Thank you. Thanks for throwing the flag up there, buddy. I could have really owned myself there as I want to do. Yeah, okay. That's interesting. How much is that game? It's only $4.99. So yeah, the bundle for the narrative stuff, it includes at least a bunch of great games. We've talked about Promise Mascot Agency. Perfect Tides was one of Jesse's favorites of recent memory too. If I remember correctly. It's $66.33. So yeah, there you go. Titanium Core now on Steam. It's only Steam, right? I'm pretty sure it's only on PC, this one.
I actually have no idea. I played it on Steam, but I'll briefly check. But yeah,
Available on
yeah, it looks like Windows and Mac OS. Mac OS.
Mac OS. There we go. We love it. Love a bit of support for Mac. Throw them a bone every now and again. Okay, Frank Howley, let's jump over to you for a sec. Mouse PI for Hire. I know you haven't played loads of this, but I'm interested in your initial experience of it. So this game is a first-person, monochromatic sort of, what do they call those things? Rubber hose animation? Is that what it's called? The sort of old school,
Yeah, I always call it like the Max Flesher or even Cuphead or Steamboat Willie. Like,
yeah, exactly, yeah.
Yeah, like 1930s style animation. It takes place in a simulated like 1930s. Like there's a great prohibition. There's like it's like post World War One. Yeah, this is a game. I wasn't like as soon as it got revealed, I was like, okay, I get it. Like, oh yeah, cartoon mouse with violence, whatever. And then it came out and reviews on Steam were overwhelmingly positive, and I was like, okay, let me check this out. It's more than what I expected. I thought it was gonna be very much like Doom, like E1M1, E1M2. So I was expecting,
shooter.
I was expecting the new Blood always has games like that. So I was expecting like a fast-paced like
Me too.
Doom like.
Yeah.
And then I started playing and I was like, they're like setting up a story. And like you're in your PI office and you're pinning clues to the walls and you're talking to people on the street. But the thing that's good is like the production details, like every character has that animation, the character designs, like people walking around. It's a living, breathing city. No. It's like, I was like kind of charmed by it. It's got the old jazzy, wall-to-wall soundtrack. When you start the game, it lets you like pick the scale of audio and visual degradation, like gramophone quality or like vinyl record, whatever. So I'm having it like soft. So I have a little bit of film grain, a little bit of audio tinnies, and I like it. I don't love it, but I'm also like I've only played like an hour or two, but as you're playing, you're getting new abilities. You can upgrade weapons. There's little collectibles like baseball cards and just I don't know in universe things like that. And like the shooting feels like there's no plasmids, but it's kind of like BioShock where it's a little bit slower than I was expecting. Again, Doom, like it's like, oh no, you're taking your time. I ran out of ammo like immediately and had to like melee people. You get like a Duke Nukem kick. So it's like, oh, it's a little slower, but because of that, you can appreciate like all the the personality of the game, which again is a little bit better than what I expected of the initial. Like, okay, I feel like we've seen stuff like this a million times, but yeah, so it's solid. Again, the main thing is I just want to keep playing Pragmata. I feel like everything gets in the way. I just want to play Pragmata.
Well, we'll get to Pragmata in a second. So what is it you're that's not necessarily like clicking fully with you? Is it like is it something about I'm trying to think about games that you play, like the linearity of it or were you looking for something a bit more sort of arcadey or?
Yeah, that's what I was expecting. It's like, oh, I got to go back to town and fucking interview people. I just want to go kill shit. Like that. Right. That's my so again, that's just the mindset I'm in now. But like because I played, I was like, oh, this is solid. I don't mind going back to it later. Troy Baker's like, again, it's almost like playing Indiana Jones. It's so weird because it's the same thing where Indy has like a high action and then you're looking for clues. You're like it's like
right.
So okay. It doesn't feel that different than Indiana Jones. It's not like as Simi, but like. It's so funny, just the variety of Troy Baker's voice acting stuff.
So there's a decent amount of sort of non-combat stuff, like exploring clues, things like that. Are the levels, is it like semi-open world? Any you sort of backtracking or?
So like the I was like thrown off by this at first because like there's like a city hub, and I feel like the first area is kind of tutorialized. They're going through different sections, but then it's like, all right, get in the cab, let's go to this mission, and you know the like first main level off the open world is like an opera house, and then when it completes, you're getting back in the cab and back to the city hub.
Oh, okay,
maybe
cool,
honestly
right.
kind of like Dishonored. The game also kind of reminds me of Dishonored. Again, I don't have any crazy abilities or anything yet, but yeah, it's more of that speed.
Cool. And the shooting is a bit floaty or grenadey or, you know, things like that.
It is pretty solid. Like even the weapon wheel, there's many slots to potentially unlock. Like I just got a shotgun that's been really fun. You're picking up barrels, hauling them. Again, much like Duke Nukem, there's like cracks in the wall. There's secrets to discover. So a lot of like old school first person shooter stuff that's cool. There's currency you collect. Back at the hub world, there's like an item shop where you can buy ammo or potentially upgrades. The nice thing I noticed, if you miss a collectible in a level, you can just buy it at the shop, which is kind of cool. Yeah.
Cool. Mouse PI for hire. Yeah, I'm interested in checking it out. I was you know, it felt very much like, you know, it's like the Pinocchio stuff we had a couple of years ago where, you know, Steamboat Willie went into public domain and then everyone was like, cool, let's jump on this thing. Let's, you know, I think it was like within a week of that happening, the trailer for this game came out and you're like, all right. But it's cool that they've at least sort of developed it into something, you know, complex and interesting. Because, for whatever reason, I just thought, it's going to be a boomer shooter with like that style of thing. You know, we've seen a lot of those types of things. So, yeah, I'm kind of, the way you've talked about it, I'm actually more interested in it now, knowing that it has like a little bit of pace change, you know, some different mechanics going on. For whatever reason, like, you know, some games I'm way into doing the, you know, corridor shooter stuff, but I've kind of played so many of them in my life now that it's, you know, it feels like doing the dishes, you know what I mean? It's like so commonplace. So, I'm actually more interested in that than I was ever. So, cheers for that, Frank. It's on Steam. Oh, it's $30 as well. That should have been a signal to me that this is a bigger thing, I guess, than one of those. Cause those, your New Blood games tend to be sort of within the 10 to 20 kind of range, I feel like. All right, $30 available on Steam. Is it on anything else? Do you know if it's?
I'm playing it on PS5, so
cool.
I think it's. I don't know if it's on Switch too, but it's kind of on everything. I can check for a second. And then one thing I didn't mention is like it's not just 2D animation. Like it's 3D environments. You're climbing on. You can smash boxes, but then all the characters and like item pickups are 2D. So it's the art style works very well. So I was impressed by it. I thought I was going to get.
Yeah, what do you call those? Is it cards? I think they're called when they have the like 2D sort of looking person there. Yeah, it's like when you walk around them, they're still flash like to you kind of thing.
Very like Duke. I mean, way higher quality, but like it does kind of feel like Duke Nukem to me. But it's like, but everything that is animated is so impressive. So that's what it's like. So again, my mind says I just want to blaze through the level, but it's like, no, there's a lot of
lots
detail
to look at.
And like kind of like being in Toontown Disney. There's so much. There's fake movie posters, newspapers. Like even the baseball characters have it's like okay, it's way better than I expected.
Cool.
Yeah.
It's also on everything pretty much. Switch 2, PlayStation 5, Windows, Xbox Series from Polish studio Fumi Games. So awesome. And also published by Playside, down under as it were. So there you go. Here's your first Poland-Australia hookup for the year here on the Noclip podcast. Mouse PI for hire. I want to quickly talk about Arc Raiders Riven Tides because it just dropped this morning. Preface this by saying that our white label business, Secret Tape, has produced work for Embark professionally. So our Arc Raiders documentaries exist. I have also played around 400 hours of Arc Raiders. I will say I dropped off this month pretty hard. There was a couple of updates they brought out that were, one of them was really hard. It was one of the, what do you call them? Not trials, not expedition, not whatever it's called. They have these like quests that are sort of accumulating stuff. And one of them was, oh man, you needed to get so many things from really difficult new Arc that I just wasn't really prepared to do it anymore, especially because I play solo. So I kind of bounced off a little bit and then I stopped doing my dailies or my weeklies. But But yeah, so I came back today and it's a significant update. Like the UI of the game has gotten a bunch more stuff added to it. Just in terms of how it all works, there's a bunch more new skins in it. The big thing with this though is there is a new map, Riven Tides, which is the most Half-Life 2 coast map level I have played in a long time. It takes place on like a beachfront. There's no buggy you're driving around, sadly, but there are cranes. There's a great piece of world building where there's just like so many oil platforms, like which you imagine like if you're in a world in which people are, the previous generation of people have fled the planet, the amount of energy that would be required to do that. But the first time I looked down the coast and there was like 20 oil platforms, it's so like jarring, I think. The level's really interesting. It's like a mixture of very open beach areas, the sort of it's like an industrial port, but then there is a hotel next to it. So interior spaces are interesting, but it plays with, again, that sort of verticality stuff really well, sort of in a way that like a lot of the falls in this map seem to be sort of uncomfortably high, which is pretty cool. To help with that, I guess they've added 2 new items, the crash mat, which I've not seen yet, and the powered descender, which I think is just like something you can use to glide down on stuff. There is a new arc in it called the Turbine, which is this massive, it sort of looks like the alien pod from Arrival or something. It just kind of floats ominously above the map. I've not encountered one yet. There's a new map condition called beachcombing and there's a quest associated with it, I think, where you take out like a little machine and start scanning the sand or something. Again, I've not had a chance to do that yet. Yeah, and they've got new cosmetics, like I said, which the cosmetics I think are actually 2 of the best sets they've put out so far. And a new project. That's what they're called, projects, where you have to go in and accumulate some bits and bobs. And there's more items, there's new keys and stuff like that as well, I've seen. So it's a pretty big update. I chatted to some raiders on the map earlier and they seem to really like it. I'm liking it, but I think like one of the things about these types of games is that when you have learned a map inside out and backwards, when you get a new map, it's like, getting out of prison and eating something that isn't the 5 things that they give you every week. It's like, oh my God, this tastes amazing. So I'm really enjoying the process of like going into a building and having no idea what arc usually spawn here. Not knowing the hot areas of the map, the parts where you can sort of like chill out a little bit. I'm pretty sure there's some new weapons, or if there isn't, there was a weapon added in the past month I hadn't seen before because I found one earlier today or this morning. And yeah, it's so it seems good, and it seems like it's the last of the big updates that they had planned on their initial roadmap. So it's going to be interesting to see what comes next for them and whether or not they're going to be able to keep up with the pace. Because I the Arc Raiders community on Reddit, where I sort of interact with them mostly, it's always hard to tell, right? Because it's kind of like that World of Warcraft problem we were talking about, Jeremy, as well, where your super users are the ones that are constantly touching the edges of content, and they're the ones that are demanding certain things and more frustrated. Like, I come at it from a more sympathetic place, I think, because we've been covering games on Noclip and documenting the development for years. So I'm like, people had to make that. That probably took a long time. And when I think about Arc Raiders, I think that's the 3rd map they've added, I think. Yeah, 3rd map. I think they've added at least 6 or 7. There's a freebie for you folks. A new arc to it. They fixed a bunch of sort of quest stuff I think was a bit rough when it launched. They've done like a decent amount of work, replaced seemingly most, if not all, of the voice stuff as well, I think. I don't know if the patches have ever mentioned that or anything, but you can definitely hear changes there. So there is a lot. But again, I don't know if that's the cadence we can expect. I feel like when games launch, they get a bunch of updates and then maybe it peters out a little bit. So time will tell. The other thing about it I think is interesting is I wonder what the new game experience is for people now. Because when you came on initially, there was like sort of 3 main maps. There was a subset of Arc that you were fighting, that was pretty grokkable. Like, oh, the flying ones, there's a couple of different flying ones. There's, a couple of different ground big ones, there's a couple of different small ones. Now they've added in so many different arc that like sometimes I'm in a map and I'm like, what the fuck, which one is that again?
Wait, so is Arc, like, is that just the name of the enemy?
Yeah, Arc is like the sort of
Gotcha.
antagonist that's coming down. Yeah, which is confusing. You're not raiding arcs. You're just
Yeah, like Indiana Jones.
yeah, exactly. Ark of the Covenant, just constantly finding these religious artifacts and talismans and adding them to your bedroom. So they've added so many. So like I was bouncing around in this map and I was like, oh, this must be like, I wonder if this is crazy, like too much for people now. If you come into one of these levels, even the menu, I was starting to think like, oh boy, okay, so you got your traders, you got your customization stuff here. Then there are, like I said, like I couldn't even remember the name for project, right? Because there's like expeditions and then projects and then there's trials, which are like your weekly things. And then, there's like so many different plates spinning at any one time. That, yeah, I do wonder what that experience is going to be like for people coming in.
It's like the Destiny 2 problem where I fired up Destiny 2 for the first time and there was like 7 years of Christmas events in the hub. And I was like, people are riding like unicorns around and shit. I'm like, oh, wait, hold on. I just let me get my bearings before you throw all this shit at me. Yeah, it's a difficult problem to solve too. I think the only sort of solution is an inelegant one, which is, or one of the obvious solutions is an inelegant one, which is to have things be tacked on that are sort of like hidden behind a veil of progress. So that anytime you join the game, you get the sort of same experience, no matter how many years after the fact it is. And then once you get to like this amount of progress, you now are experiencing what people experienced after the game had been out for a year or so.
Yeah. And there are some ways in which the game does it with the quests. I'm pretty sure there are some maps that only unlock once you've done a certain number of story quests. Like I think Stella Montis is still locked. Maybe Stella's not. I could be wrong. I feel like that's the case. But like, if you go into one of those maps, you're still going to see like all of these new arc. Like there's no way around that unless they make people into, less populated servers or less archy servers. But like then you require a certain number of players to be able to be doing like splitting your matchmaking. I think it's funny. It's something I think that like we have learned or we're starting to learn as a player base that like running these games don't get, first of all, it's really hard to like balance. It's almost like a band where like, a band brings out a great album, then they bring out their second album, which is usually very different because every song they wrote in their first album was every song they ever wrote. And then they had to start from scratch and do it again. And then you start, we've even YouTube channels, this is how it works. Like each thing is a reaction to the previous thing, right? So inherently they are cohesion breaking because they're designed to be additive or designed to fix a problem with the previous album or game patch or whatever it is, right? We're not covering enough indie games on Noclip, right? So we start doing more indie stuff. We haven't done a series, we haven't embedded, right? And then so the cohesion of it sort of like, unless you're very, very diligent about staying core to one particular thing, which to me I think is creatively disinteresting as well, then you're going to break that cohesion. And so the longer these games live, then we're back to our conversation about World of Warcraft, right? Where it's this seemingly hodgepodge of different things, but that's just the nature of, building the tower, the Tower of Babel or whatever. It's like it gets wobbly, you know what I mean? The higher you get, or it looks like it's built upon something. So it's interesting. It's like, and we think about these things as forever games because every game is a forever game. Quake 3 is a forever game because the game came out and then that's the game, and you go play the game now and it's still Quake 3 and that's cool. But like, what would Quake 3 look like today if they'd been adding to it for 27 years? Like probably something nightmarish, even more nightmarish than, you lose that purity or something. So yeah, it's an interesting, I don't know what the solution is. Is there a solution? Is the solution us? Should our expectations be different? I don't know.
I think the solution is Arc Raiders Classic.
That's what's going to
immediately rush into the World of Warcraft solution where you have a classic version.
Bring back the AI voices.
Yeah, that's part of classic. Is all the voice acting is dog shit AI, just like mom used to make.
Exactly. Buried City no longer has Bird City. Do you know about Bird City?
I have no idea what you're referring to.
Bird City is my favorite map condition. It means that all of the birds are nesting, and so they're collecting things. And so in all of the like chimney tops in the Buried City, there's just like stuff in them that they've collected, like little bits of metal and things like that, but mostly rubber ducks. And so that's where you go and collect all your rubber ducks. So on Bird City maps, it's just like some people are shooting, but it's just a bunch of people running on rooftops, going up the chimneys, going like pulling some stuff in, going, yeah, I got a rubber duck. I got complex gun parts. That pigeon really likes gun parts. So I'm excited to play that this weekend. But yeah, that content glut thing is definitely something that's on my mind when it comes to a lot of these games, as we were saying, World of Warcraft, but Arc Raiders too. Are you playing Arc Raiders in the chat, folks? Watching this, the chat, there's no chat, there's comments in the comments. Let us know.
Chat.
What's your yeah, it's like a slow chat. It's like a forum. You can add forums to Discord. Is that a bad idea? What do you think?
It just gets messy. Like
Does it?
There's multiple like layers of text to sort through. But I guess but it also like separates the discussion, which is nice. I don't know.
I kind of feel like Discord is just a fast moving forum. I don't know. I'm not a part of that many Discord communities. Like the Noclip Discord is sort of the biggest one I'm part of, I think. And I feel like it's not that difficult to just go back and be like, all right, what were people talking about in general? And then just scroll up a couple pages. And it's like, I don't read every message, but it's like if everyone is responding, I know, I'm so sorry. I try. But if everyone is like talking about something, I feel like it's not that hard to get the gist of what's going on.
Yeah, that's what I like about our Discord being patron only, because it's like like we have I'm in other ones and it's just, it feels like a chat room more so, whereas our Discord feels like somewhere between a chat room and a message board. Yeah, for sure. Also, shout out to the Pets Discord channel, which is continually providing me with great joy with all the
goat videos
pets.
have been fucking
Thank you.
Joyous.
I've been
the one
posting,
you posted last night was so fucking good.
I've been posting me feeding the goats and locking them up at nighttime. And the chickens I did a few weeks ago, and I went to lock them in, and the door had like swung closed on its own with the wind, I guess. And they were all like quietly huddled by the door, trying not to be eaten by anything. And like, it's like 11 at night. It was like super dark, and they were just like,
I liked in your goat video last night that one of the goats who had darker fur was on a shelf peeking around the corner when you approached. So it looked like a man-sized goat man was standing in there and peering around the corner waiting for you.
I'll let Belle know. That's one of her favorite tricks, is to jump up on that thing.
That's fucking horrifying. Because I didn't know the context. Yeah,
you're right.
I didn't know there was a shelf in there, so I was like, "Why is there like a fucking anthropomorphized goat man waiting for you?"
I walk in and the goat man says, "Would you like to live life most deliciously?"
Yeah, that's what I thought was about to go down.
Yeah, if only. That'd be a good time. That's Riven Tides. Available now. It's a free update if you own that game. If you don't own that game, it's a very expensive update. But go check it out if you want to play more stuff that looks like the Half-Life level with the buggy, but without the buggy. All right, away from the world of arc rating and into the world of Shapes, the sequel to Shapes, if you will, Shapes 2. Shapes 2 spelled Shapez. No caps. Tell me about Shapes. What is this? It looks like Factorio.
It is a factory game, but I would say it's more less intimidating than Factorio, which I haven't played, but I have played Satisfactory, and I like this a lot better for reasons that I'll get into. But it came out of early access last week. I played like 4 hours last night, and I'm still barely even into it, but I can already tell that I think I'm going to last longer than I did with Satisfactory. I played that for like 50 hours, but I restarted it once. But So basically, instead of, like mining resources or whatever you do in normal factory games, this one is about making different shapes. So you're kind of like floating in space, and there's these like little clusters of different shapes, and there's different colors, and then there's each shape is like split into 4 segments. So you can like cut them in half, you can rotate them, stack them, paint them. So you basically just have to make a series of increasingly complex shapes and send them into the black hole in the middle to complete your quota and get more upgrades and stuff.
Send them to the dark lord that lives in the black hole to be consumed.
Yeah, I'm not sure what the purpose is yet, but there's like, it seems like there's a little bit of a story, like Satisfactory. You have to like send the parts back to the company for whatever they're building.
Yeah, the shapes you've mentioned, they're sort of hard to explain. It's almost like you're making like designer plates or something. You know what I mean? They're circular. Well, they're not all circular, I guess, but they're circular in nature in that they have 4 quadrants, as opposed to being rectilinear or whatever. But the detail of each quadrant, like, some of them look like the Umbrella Corporation logo, other
Some
ones
of them look like Halo Killstreak icons.
Yeah, like they get pretty detailed and obviously cut into loads of different shapes, compressed, stretched, and then, like you said, colored, but like not just one color, lots of colors. So presumably you're just feeding these little discs into multiple machines, trying to optimize the speed, all that sort of stuff.
Yeah, all your regular factory building stuff, like it does a good job. Like with the tutorial, I guess, like you'll start off with, they'll be like, okay, you need 100 blue circles, and then you need 100 blue half circles. So you have to cut them in half. And then you need 100 blue half circles stacked on top of full circles. And then it like slowly you figure out how to make things more complicated. But the couple machines that you do have are like very simple and easy to understand. And it's just like a very visual, like you see the shapes rotating and stacking. So it's really easy to tell what's going on, as opposed to like, it's just like a bunch of ores and like, it's all like dark colors, or there's like, you're making parts like Satisfactory, but at some point, like you don't really know what they are. Like they're not real things. And so it gets like more confusing, but this is, I would say, like visually more straightforward than that.
Yeah, that's an interesting thing I hadn't considered. You're right. When you see them, they don't so much go in and out of the machines. I guess they do in sometimes, but like you can tell if you've done the right thing by just looking at the item that comes out. And like you can tell if you've set it up wrong by looking at, because you can see it get turned or cut or squeezed, exactly. Right? Like you're actually seeing the action happen. I hadn't considered that. Yeah.
At like the end of the conveyor belt, like when you send it into the black hole, it'll have like a little icon of what it is that's going to be coming out. So you could make like a production line, and you can see like, oh no, like I forgot to rotate it, so it's like the wrong shape.
And that's great.
Yeah.
So instead of having to wait for it to go through everything and then checking, going, oh fuck, and then turning it all off or whatever. Okay.
There's also like a little icons that'll pop up if something is not laid out correctly, like if there's a break in the conveyor belt or something. So you could just like highlight that and check all the spots that are wrong. So it just has like a lot of, I would say, like quality of life things that make it easier to get into and to fix mistakes. And like you can literally just Control-C, Control-V, like 1,000 different parts.
Oh, really?
And it's like you're using I saw a comment interview. It's like just using like a software that like Premiere or Blender or whatever you use, and just like learning the shortcuts, and then like you can save blueprints, and then just go into your library and be like, okay, I make this a lot, so I'm just gonna make a blueprint, pop that
cool.
in.
How does the economy work then? If you're able to like do all that, is there an economy? I guess.
So this was one of my points of why it's like more beginner friendly than Satisfactory, is that you have unlimited resources. So you have this shapes coming out like being mined, but then other than that, you can just build unlimited conveyor belts, unlimited machines, and there's no like inventory. Like I don't have to be like, okay, I need 100 copper wires in my inventory, so then I can just build the machine to then connect it and all this stuff. And it's just like you can kind of just play around, and so easy to delete and copy and paste.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
It's like a sandbox factory game or something.
Yeah, it's like there's no like there's stress, I guess, if you want to stress yourself out about like making perfect factories, but yeah, it's really open, and
you could like delete everything and not worry. You know what I mean? You can like delete like a whole section of your thing, go, it doesn't work, and then kind of
that's like kind of what you're supposed to do. There's like there's two different modes, and like the regular one, you'll just complete a series of shapes and then you're done with that. So if you don't see yourself needing it, you can just delete it and get it out of the way. And then there's another mode that's more similar to Satisfactory, where it's like you're building more bigger factories, like bigger production lines to then feed into, like all the parts are more like built on top of each other, where this is like a series of little sets of parts. And then when you're done with one, then you're done.
Worth mentioning as well, just in case, because of the appropriate Satisfactory references, that this game is also not like a first-person game where you're walking around. This is like camera, what would you call it? Like strategy game, almost looking camera, free-floating camera or whatever. Have you seen? So I wanted to see what Shapes 1 looked like. Jesus Christ, that is what a glow up. Go check out the Shapes Steam page for the first game. Tobias Springer, I think it's Tosper Games are the developer or the publisher. It looks neat. It looks like a neat game. It has 8,000 reviews in English, overwhelmingly positive, but it looks like a Flash game or like something somebody drew in their notebook by comparison, at least. Have you seen it?
Yeah, I haven't played it because I just wanted to start with this one, but it's Shapes, the original, is just completely like 2D, whereas Shapes 2 you can stack like up to 3 conveyor belts on top of each other. Right. So it gets like a little bit more complicated.
Yeah, and graphically as well. Obviously, Shapes 2 is a fully 3D game and looks intense, looks wonderful, like just a bizarre looking, floating cosmic factory nightmare.
It's impressive how much zoom in.
I was going to say it's impressive how much they retained the readability of this because of how Shapes 1 looks. You would think that in making it sort of, not only 3D, but like more colorful and saturated and bombastic and like textured and material oriented, you would think it would get like busy and unmanageable. But I almost find Shapes 2 like kind of more readable in a bizarre sort of like. You wouldn't
the colors kind of help to direct what is what, maybe, or something. But it is really strong art direction considering, and it's not like it has a strong art look like the first one did, but it, like kind of like Satisfactory. Satisfactory is another game that like sort of looks like a video game would look like, but manages to sort of keep it readable. So yeah, maybe there's something about like stroke or outline or something like that. But again, it's so hard in 3D games with free cameras to control that. But yeah, it looks cool. Also a game with a overwhelmingly positive, around 8,000 English reviews. So pretty impressive stuff. April 23rd, you said it just came out of early access. So it's obviously been in early access for a while. It's presumably where a lot of those reviews came from. Pretty cool. $23.99 at the moment, 20% off, $30 usually. Any final thoughts on Shapes?
Just that I'm excited to keep on making more shapes. I just unlocked painting and I really want to get the trains. Ooh. That'll be a big upgrade.
Yeah, I've seen
the guy who made this game German. This seems like a very German game. I'd
very say Polish, maybe. Oh no, you're right. It does seem very German. You're right.
Really? Hell yeah. All right,
yeah,
cool.
You're right.
I just feel like this is a fundamentally Germanic video game. Not to stereotype.
Interesting you said it right after she mentioned trains.
No, that's not why I said it. I was looking at the screenshots and it's all fucking, it's just
what's
very...
going in? Yeah.
That's just very detail oriented. No, that was not the fucking semantic bridge for me to be like, oh yeah, I know what those guys like.
Yeah, exactly. They like putting
they
things
are
in
German,
trains.
confirmed.
Fuck yeah. All right,
Shipping
cool.
him into the black hole. Is that?
God damn it.
hell.
No, it's just it's like there's like the meme about the getting off work at your factory job as a German guy and going home and playing forklift simulator with a nice beer.
It does kind of feel like working, but like in a good way. Like it definitely has that vibe of like with the Control C, Control V, like all that.
Oh God, of course. Yeah, you're right. God, yeah, because I've been feeling that recently with my little foray into survival craft games, that they feel very, sort of like achievement porn or something. Where like I'm achieving things in my, I'm so stressed about life. It's like there's all these work to do and tax season and stuff, but I'll just go shoot 15 bison and that'll make me feel good when the little thing pops up and I unlock the thing. But yeah, I can see how if you're using a mouse and keyboard to copy and paste things on a timeline, basically, even the colors kind of look like the colors you'd use in Premiere to delineate clips. Like, ooh, that's an adjustment layer and it's audio, and oh man.
Maybe that's why I like it.
Exactly. Maybe that's it. It's close to your heart. That's Shapes too. Shapes with a Z, Shapez, presumably the German spelling. And 2 is also there, which is an old. Are numbers Latin? Are they numeric? I don't know where we got our numbers from. I feel like it's a Greek thing, probably.
I feel like math. I feel like math is Arabic. So aren't they like Arabic numerals? Am I making this up?
Yeah, it's from
Arabic
somewhere
numerals.
that's not Europe for sure, because they were using Roman numerals, and then someone was like, "Here's numbers." And then you only have to use
we were doing V
9,
plus V until
symbols.
the Arab world was like, you guys need to fucking cut that shit out.
Yeah, you psychopaths. When did we start doing base 10 in stuff?
I don't know.
We almost
That's
went
a great
back with, the French Revolution, they tried to bring base 10 back in for dates. Those psychopaths. They went too far. They were like, we're going to overthrow the queen. And now we're going to make it so that no one can have any religion. And also we're getting rid of gods out of the months by making them seasons, and days are now like 100 minutes long or something. It was lots of, and then all the fucking peasantry was like, what the fuck? We didn't vote for this. We just didn't want taxes, you fucking assholes. And then Robespierre ends up with no head. Anyway, there's your fucking French Revolution minute for a second while I padded for time. Jeremy, have we figured out where numbers are from?
Arabic numerals from
There
the
you
Arab
go.
world.
Thank you. There's definitely a lot of like Arabic history erasure, I feel like, in at least in, or maybe just never got into the Irish books. It's like, that's fucking far.
I mean, it's definitely like a Western world bit of myth making that, and like intentionally to paint the Middle East as this place that's like
Savages.
or it's sort of like the other side of the intent, which is to paint the Western world as the bastion of like we like invented the automobile and numerals and stuff, and it's like
this is where the Enlightenment happened. It's like we figured it all out.
Yeah,
but yeah,
it's it's like a fundamental piece of the myth making behind a lot of the sort of like neo Silicon Valley shit that's going on too, like Palantir and stuff.
Yeah,
that they are sort of like they're what they're doing in terms of like defense contracting stuff is not only like business, but it's like a necessary sort of fundamental mission that they have to like preserve Western civilization and all these things. And in order to have that myth, you have to be like, because we invented numbers.
Well, if you write yourselves as the good guys, then that requires there to be the evil, right? And then that's, you get to launch a crusade, or 20, as it turns out. But yeah, it is. I find it particular because I feel like I understand the sort of inherent easy proxy they can do that when it comes to the African continent, because it's racism all the way down. It's like such an easy one for sort of advanced Western cultures to sort of look down on that continent and erase again probably loads of great history about kingdoms and stuff that's in Africa. But it seems particularly I don't know what's the word, like double-faced to do it when it's also about the place that you profess all of your major religions have come from. You know what I mean? So like to be doing that as a Christian or a Jew or, well, I guess they don't. If you're Jewish, presumably you see Israel as the cradle of civilization in that way, even if you're not a Zionist or not. But like, it is funny how, like, I feel like, especially I speak to Christians, like at least that's in my wheelhouse. It is funny how, like, yeah, they will simultaneously look down at Arabs while also being, but Jesus was great.
Yeah, that was the cutoff point. Was like that's. I mean, I feel like the white Jesus portrait you see in a lot of like rural American churches is sort of the epitome of that.
Oh yeah, blue eyes. Beautiful. Classical features. I watched a video recently actually about the depiction of Christ, why Jesus looks like that, and because there's no recordings of him or whatever. But yeah, did I talk about that last week? I forget.
We talked about I Am Jesus Christ a couple weeks running, but I don't feel like you brought this up.
That's because I Am Jesus Christ is an interesting game.
If someone stopped listening right there, they're going to be very upset. In the middle of that sentence.
That's as bad as me AI generating a picture of me as a doctor right there. Doing it again. Playing the hits here, folks. Speaking of which, let's talk about Windrose for a hot second. So I talked about Windrose last week on the podcast, the Split Up podcast, by the way. And apologies to folks. There was a bit of audio drift in the Jeremy No Cap section. Jesse Gracia, our intrepid podcast producer, was producing that presumably while also I was about to say nursing a baby, but feeding a baby a bottle to a baby. I don't think you call that I think that's just feeding a baby.
He's a man of many talents.
He is indeed, but there are limits, So that slipped through the cracks. There was a bit of a delay. I think you guys had a delay on your call as well. So
it was slight. I didn't watch back the podcast because watching the podcast of myself on the podcast would make me an endless cycle of self-consciousness. But yeah,
I just listened. Well, it was great because I got to listen to the two of you talk. So that's how I, got up to speed on Love Eternal and everything. So apologies for that last week, but we're not going to give Gracia a hard time about it. The guy is a killer, and obviously doing that while he's supposed to be not working, and he's very generously asked every week. I check in and go, "Are you sure you want to edit this one?" He's like, "Yeah, go on, give it to me. I love doing it." He loves copy and pasting, just like No Caps does in Shapes 2. But yes, I talked a bit about Windrose last week. I played a decent amount of it. I've probably played maybe twice as much of it as well. And some of the rough edges starting to appear. I'm still really enjoying it. It's very good. I think so here's a couple of questions. Frank, you were asking me last week what the map is, if it's procedurally generated, and it is. So each map is different. Each server, I guess, if you roll the seed, is different. Which is cool, I guess, if you're doing multiple playthroughs, right? If you're going to start again and do it in a different crowd, kind of like Valheim or something. But it also can lead to a little bit of confusion, at least in my situation, of kind of where the various factions are. There's one faction, the people of Tortuga, that I cannot for the life of me find. They are not on Tortuga, they are somewhere else. But you have to sort of like drift around in the boat, which can be a little bit scary because you can get killed and then drown. Not as harshly as Valheim, because you can go back and get all your stuff, and fixing the boat only costs like 20 wood or something. It's not that bad. Rebuilding the boat, sorry. And then also, I've found it a little bit of a struggle sometimes that the weapon system is, how leveling works is kind of opaque. Like, I watched multiple videos on it because there's classes for the enemy or for the weapons, and they have a certain amount of strength, and then you have stat points, but they don't really bleed into those so much. And then apparently there's an invisible debuff if you're fighting enemies above your level that isn't surfaced. So there's all these so I've often found myself in a situation where I feel woefully underpowered, and now I feel quite overpowered in certain sections, and I can't really find the sweet spot. And also some of the quests, I'm level 7, but the quests are like level 3 or level 9, and so I feel like the quest progression stuff on it could be a little cleaner. But I'm still really enjoying it, and I've unlocked a lot more systems in it. I'm doing a lot more farming now, which is good fun. I'm upgrading some new stuff. Survivalcraft games. You do more stuff, and then more stuff happens. But the ship combat I've come to really love. I think once I figured out I really needed to get some upgrades for the ship, I'm in a much better spot now, and my cannons are doing better damage and all that sort of stuff. So yeah, it's some of it is first, some of the things that are tripping me up are sort of first time through a game things that are going to happen as you learn its systems and understand what it's doing that's similar to those games and what it's doing differently. But I definitely feel like the quest stuff, just by nature of the fact that it is proc gen, or the map is, and so the locations of things is never going to be ideal. They can't send, they can try and guide you with quests to certain people, and they definitely do that. But I still feel like it's a little bit rough. Or it can be, and I've had to sort of figure it out by myself, which has been fun as well. But yeah, it's just something to talk about with Windrose. But yeah, I really enjoy it. It's cool. It's a cool game, and apparently it's sold over 1 million copies. So clearly people think it's cool. Pirates, man, pirates are in. Get me, I just want a Michael Bolton skin, and I'll be happy now. Give me
Wait, why a Michael Bolton skin?
This is the tale of Captain Jack Sparrow. You a Lonely Island guy?
No, it's ringing a bell from way back in the day.
Yeah, like I'll send you a YouTube video later. It's real funny.
It's called Leroy Jenkins
video. Check out this video exactly. And then, have you seen Dick in a Box?
I also just Googled pirate accent because I was thinking in my head I was doing a pirate accent, and I just have had a stunning realization that the description of a pirate accent is a rhotic dialect. Also described as a hard R dialect, which is very funny. But Boston,
it's very mean. They're not that uneducated. Jesus.
The Boston accent is a non-rhotic accent. So the Boston accent is the linguistic opposite of the pirate accent.
Wow.
I know. I don't know who will find that interesting other than me, but I find that interesting.
Harvard Yard.
No, you mean Harvard Yard, dude?
Harvard Yard.
Fucking guy.
What's another Bostonism?
Bostonism? People
Park the car.
People say wicked, although I think wicked is misunderstood, where it's not always very, like you could say it's wicked gold, but it's also like I feel like the more common use is like I had a wicked headache the other day.
Okay.
Yeah,
right.
It's used both ways, but I feel like people just think it means very, and it can also just mean it's just sort of it's like a general amplifier.
You mean wicked like Davy Jones's locker?
Now I want a sitcom, and it's a guy from Boston on a pirate ship, and he can't understand anyone.
That'd be the new Assassin's Creed game, I think, right? That's what they're going to work on next. Yeah, did you see that, by the way? They're making a new version of Assassin's Creed 4, am I right? Is that the one?
Oh, yeah. Assassin's
Black
Creed
Flag.
went from Boston to pirate from 3 to 4.
Black Flag. Sorry, yeah. They did. It's interesting. Yeah, they're doing a whole thing. They're not putting the multiplayer in. They're fixing a bunch of quests. They're doing a bunch of like interesting things to it that are like sort of, yeah, that sucked. Like, those fucking quests where you had to like, I think this might be my least favorite quest in any single player adventure game. The follow people close, but not too close thing. So they were like, it was like an interesting video where they were like, yeah, it kind of sucked. Like you desynchronized or whatever, fuck off. So now if that happens, they just notice you and you get in a fight. You know what I mean? So that's a smart solution to it. But my favorite part of this, and this has been a hot take on social media that people have either agreed vehemently with me or, well, maybe disagreed vehemently or agreed in kind, is that they have stripped that game of all the stupid real life Abstergo stuff. There is none of that. They're just like, hey, what if it's just an Assassin's Creed game where you play somebody from the past? And I'm like, this is all I've ever wanted. I hate all that shit.
I like that stuff I've only played Assassin's Creed 1 and 4. I liked the Abstergo stuff in Assassin's Creed 1. Is that because I was a stupid young child, or was it better?
I think it's, I don't know. I found it frustrating in 1 as well. I think they needed it to gate you because there's a lot of like, that game is a lot of like, they don't just give you the open world in 1, right? So there's probably some technical reason for it. So I'm a little bit more forgiving, or maybe it's like a learn how to play these games, because there'd never been like an open world stealth game before AC1. You had Splinter Cell, you'd Metal Gear Solid, but you didn't have like, here's a whole world and you can stealth and go kill somebody in it. You know what I mean? Like the closest proxy is something like, I don't know, Project IGI or some type of base invasion thing. So I can forgive it a bit, but it just, oh my God, it was never good. To me, it was like, It was always kind of hammy, and I didn't really care. And it also, this is probably a very European thing to say, but it made me feel very like not everything has to be about you, North America. Like, you know what I mean?
We were taking you to the path. Yeah, it is a bit like it's like inserting game developers into the plot unnecessarily, where it's like, and it's also like it's sort of like acknowledging the constraints of video games in a way that is immersion breaking, where it's like you can't change the past really, because it's like you're going back to the past.
Yes,
you know what I mean? Like it's not time travel. It's just fucking, you're just like you desync if you try to change the past too much. So all you're really doing is this like fatalistic dash towards causality.
Yeah. God, you should have written the Assassin's Creed games.
Tab me in, Ubisoft.
Yeah, it was a lot about like uncovering knowledge that they could use in contemporary times. Like, where is the location of the MacGuffin? You know what I mean? Like, we need to go into Altair's brain. And I don't know. To me, I don't know what it's a very personal thing, and I'm probably being really annoying about it. But I do remember at the time thinking, why can't you just this game be about this like Muslim dude? Like, why can't it has to have, you know what I mean? It's like, oh, we need to like put the producer, the Hollywood producer wants us to insert this type of character because the story's too much in this direction or something. And it used to make me feel like, oh, just let it be about like, you know, Italy. Like, just why does it have to all come back to, you know, wherever it was, Canada or America? I don't know where the games were based, but why does it always have to come back to your connection to Europe? Like, fuck off. Just like be about the thing, like, instead of all this unnecessary grounding or whatever. I don't know.
Yeah,
It feels very personal.
I think there is speaking as someone who has been working on games and like done a lot of prototyping and coming up with ideas and tested them out and seen how they feel for a month and then moving on to other stuff. I feel like there's always a temptation to do this like multi-layered approach. I've talked to other game developers about this too, like indie devs. And there's always a temptation to be like, oh, what if it's a game where you're like, you run a shop, but then there's like another layer and the shop is actually, and it's like, I feel like it's like it's a false form of complexity. The game design that really impresses me is typically doubling down on one thing very strongly and like polishing the fuck out of that. I think it's like there's sort of like a shiny novelty trap that you can fall into, where it's like if you're bouncing between these two things, it's harder to realize if one isn't perfect or something.
And in a way, Assassin's Creed was kind of one of the first games that I can remember that kind of did that. You know what I mean? That like had a separate layer to it in some respect. Like the real world stuff was like entirely narrative driven. There was no combat. I think at the end there's a bit of combat, like they sort of make it a bit more like that. I think at the time, if I'm being honest with myself, I think I've retconned some reasons why I didn't like it. I think at the time the reason I didn't like it is because everything back then was trying to be the Matrix, and like that was just another version of it. It was like, oh fuck, we're doing the Matrix again. You know what I mean? Like this is all in a computer. It's a simulation. It's a simulacra. It's a you're, you know, but you have this connection. You're important. You know, you're important. You have the DNA that gets us in this fucking Italian guy's head. You know what I mean? So we can be friends with Leonardo da Vinci. And it felt very like, oh, why does it always have to be this messianic figure? Does it always have to be fucking mind jacking into, you know, Lawnmower Manning into another, you know what I mean? Like, I think that's probably what I was reacting to.
I also think that there was like in the cultural zeitgeist, the idea of like mapping the human genome was like a little hotter.
That's true.
A decade or two ago. Yeah. It was like, I don't know.
Before it got all eugenics.
And there was like this utopian feeling when people were talking about, like when I was in high school, I feel like people were talking more about like mapping the human genome as this thing of like immense possibility that we were going to like crack open the secrets of reality, of biological reality in some way. So I think that this was like, yeah, like what if the Matrix, instead of being in a computer, what if like, you know, the key to the computer was like our DNA or like epigenetic memory or something.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. Again, you should write an Assassin's Creed game. Let's move on away from the world of Assassin's Creed. Sorry. Yeah. That's coming out. I got it confused. I thought it was the Irish guy, but the guy in Black Flag's Welsh. But the Irish one, what was that called? Like a Rogue. Assassin's Creed Rogue. I'm going to play that one. Irish pirate game. Yunyun syndrome. Frank, you were telling me about this while we were filming last week, I think. This game scares me. What is Yunyun Syndrome?
Yeah,
Rhythm Psychosis.
So this is a game that we covered on one of our like Steam Next Fest demo rally, a while ago. So same publisher as Needy Streamer Overload, different developer, but very much same DNA, very much like self-aware Akihabara. This game is about a hikikomori, a girl who never leaves her room. She's obsessed with Denpa music. That's the hyper chaos anime music. And it's a rhythm game that you're playing with your keyboard. You can probably you can rebind it, but it's like SD and then KL. And so it's just a rhythm game with all these hyper insane Denpa songs, a lot of songs that are also in Dance Dance Revolution, and just all the rhythm games, a lot of Toho songs in here.
How does the rhythm stuff work? Is it like, what version is it? Is it like the Guitar Hero lines? Is it stuff dropping?
So its notes are dropping down.
Okay.
And it's, SD, KL. So there's like, there's times where there's even all 4 notes at once. It's a lot of variations. There's 4 difficulty scales. Just like Guitar Hero DDR, you can adjust timing, speed, and all that. The big notable difference between a DDR song on average is like 2 minutes, because like this, you just don't have the stamina. Here it's like full on like 3 minutes. So like play like 3 to 4 minutes. It's like after a few songs, my hands and fingers will start. I'm also playing at a very high level, so my hands will start. I can't play this game very long because my hands will start like cramping. But it's super snappy, especially if I'm playing on a mechanical keyboard. So it's like, oh, this feels good. But I definitely feel like, I wish I should. If I'm playing a rhythm game, I might as well be playing DDR and actually getting a workout in. I haven't personally tested if my DDR thing can bind it. I'm sure if I did like a third-party app, I can. My DDR pad doesn't read as a controller; it reads as its own separate thing.
Jesus, that sounds like a nightmare to play this game on a DDR pad.
But it would make it a little bit more stimulating. But the thing the extra layer to this game is. There's a visual novel light element to it. Is like in between you're doing songs, you're unlocking like new little story things. So the premise of this game is a girl who's obsessed with this idol named Yunyun. The more she plays this music, your like psychosis is building up. You're getting secret messages and conspiracies from the songs you're playing, and you're posting on Twitter, and you're developing a following. You're basically you're basically becoming a spokesman for a hikikomori cult, and everyone worships this idol. So it's like very silly and cute, and like the more you play, you unlock more conspiracies, and it's just like fun, silly flavor. It's not as compelling as like Needy Streamer Overlord's like story and beats. Everything was so good and funny, so it's not as strong, but it's nice. I mean, the fact that a rhythm game even has a story is neat, and you get like a little small cutscene like after every song. So it's like, I'm gonna keep playing this so I play every song and then maybe drop it. I think it's the same thing. There's like 20 different endings. But yeah, it's light, it's cute. It's not that expensive. I think it is. It's $16.99. It has like the week 1, 10% discount, so $15.29. Yeah, so I like it, but it's not like spectacular. But the music's good, the rhythm's fine. But yeah, it's like, I'd rather just be playing Dance Dance Revolution or actual Beatmania. But the music is fantastic. It's a lot of new stuff. The art's cute. It's good. So yeah, I like it. I don't love it. I will probably keep playing more of it. But yeah, it's solid.
There's 8 music packs as well you can buy for it from a variety of licensed. Is it Denpa music? Is that what it's called? Yeah,
there's like some Denpa. There's some Toho stuff, and like I think it's like, I was looking at one pack. It was like $3.99 for 6 songs, and then there's another that's like $3.99 for 6. $7 has 12 songs. So you can do more, but there's already a lot of songs in there. I haven't looked at the achievements. Maybe buying DLC will help you get more achievements. But if you really like this rhythm game, or maybe you don't have a DDR, but maybe you can't play DDR, this is not a bad rhythm game to jump into. So it's
cool.
Yeah, it hits the basics.
Yunyun Syndrome with a exclamation point question mark. Rhythm Psychosis. Early entry for the name of the year, which we'll be doing later on, of course. Also, just while we're on names, I want to quickly mention some of the licensed songs that they have here. Some great titles, including Winter is Machine Gun, Summer is Machine Gun, Princess Brave, Marissa Stole the Precious Thing, and let's do one more. How about Cosmic King Star Symbol Sensation with the @ sign as the A, and then I think 8 exclamation points. So cool. Yeah. As I've advertised. That is Yunyun Syndrome, Rhythm, Psychosis. Let me go back to the doc here and see if there's anything else that we haven't talked about. Frank, you played a bit more Pragmata. You want to talk about that? Noclip's talked about it last week as well, so we've done a decent amount of Pragmata chat over the past couple of weeks. You still enjoying it?
Yeah, I feel like I've played 3 times the amount of Pragmata since we talked about it initially. Like, yeah, it's phenomenal. Again, I have this problem where I'm like, I'm not going to enjoy any game or anything else until I like finish it or get sick of it. So I'm like, oh, I just want to keep playing it. Like, you unlock VR missions as you play, and those VR missions, if you do
I didn't know that.
If you do all 3 objectives, yeah, I think like throughout I feel like they're always near bosses, or it seems like it's on the golden path. But in each level, you find like data discs, and it's like, oh, you take this back to your home base, and then you give it to this little robot, and it's like, oh, try these VR missions. And then if you do the VR missions, you'll get like a ton of upgrade credits. So when I'm playing like the base game, I am so overpowered now because I'm also going back and getting all the upgrade. Like, I'm maxing this game out. It's like everything in it clicks. It's the kind of thing where I'm like, oh, I'm just like it's just clicking 100%. But the VR missions are really good because the VR missions are awesome because some of them are like maneuvering, platforming, but there's a few where it's like these are the 6 enemies. You have to kill them all in like 30 seconds. So it really becomes almost like it becomes like a puzzle game where it's like they only give you like 2 weapons and like 5 shotgun bullets. So it's like, okay, you have to time your so it's really forcing you to really and you talk about this too, but it's like really deciding which weapon you want to use on which enemy. But the time restrictions is so strict. So I grinded like one mission, like it's like Tony Hawk style, over and over and over again. But then when I went back to the base game, it's like, oh my God, I can kill everything. Like it really trains you. And like, I keep leveling up my thrusters, so now I'm constantly dodging and all this stuff. And like, you can even unlock an auto hack, so Diana will just start doing it. If you really want to focus on shooting you're overwhelming, Diana can auto hack and stuff like that. So it's just like, and the amount of mods and equipable, there's so many variations. It's almost like Diablo. There's so many variations of things you can bring to a firefight, and I'm just using like, kind of like modern Resident Evil. It's like, if I have ammo, I'll just use it till that's gone. But yeah, I really can't stop playing it. So I'm hoping I just have enough free time to just burn through it and finish it. And again, it's people are saying it's not that long of a game. I know there's like New Game Plus and a bunch of stuff. I'll just beat it as the base. But yeah, it really is phenomenal. So
nice.
I just need to keep playing it so I can have an appetite for other games.
Yeah, that's 3 out of 4 of us who really like it. So that's pretty cool. Jeremy, you will eventually get to Pragmata, I'm sure, at Game of the Year time. But you did take a recommendation from last week and play and complete, it sounds like, Love Eternal, based on NoCaps' recommendation.
Yeah, so I had started it when NoCaps and I talked about it last week.
Oh, yeah.
I'd played about an hour of it, but I finished it after we recorded, and I liked it when we talked about it a lot. Like, it was very strong to me. I think, as NoCap said, it follows through brilliantly. I don't want to get too much into the story because I want people to be able to experience it, but I just wanted to sort of like reiterate redouble my recommendation for it. I think that the story that it tells is compelling and weird and just the right amount of like a good esoteric mystery is very hard to do because it has to give you enough to put together theories, but not enough to have clean, concrete answers about everything. And I think that this is one of the most sort of theory crafting conducive games I've played in a long time. I don't know. It's a fucking great story. It's maybe my favorite story in a game this year. I don't know.
Nice.
I might revise that statement if I think of something crazy, but it was really, really good.
Awesome. A lot of great games this week, folks. Titanium Court, Love Eternal, Mouse PI, Yunyun Syndrome, Shapes 2, and then a little bit on Windrose and Arc Raiders' latest patch, Riven Tides. But let's head over to some emails before we bounce out this week. For what we got this week, Frank?
Yeah, if people want to send us an email, please write to us, podcast@noclip.video, or on our Patreon Discord channel in the podcast chat. Once again, that's podcast@noclip.video. Our first comes from Oli, asking about stealth games. I've been playing through the whole of Dishonored series recently, and having never got to play Dishonored 2 or Death of the Outsider.
Ooh, nice.
I've both been reminded of why I love this series so much, how I desire another sequel or even prequel, and now I've gotten the stealth game bug. Are there any good or underrated stealth games to try next once I'm done with this series? Maybe some that have a similar vibe? I've been curious about the Styx games and a Ghost of a Tale in particular.
Ghost of a Tale. I don't think I've played that.
I've played that. I've played both of those.
They good?
They are good. So I've only played a little bit Dishonored, but I would say Styx. I played the first Styx. Styx is definitely more stealth, like through the whole game, whereas Ghost of a Tale, it's like less about stealth in the end. But yeah, the great thing about Styx is like the level is so much verticality, and it can like get pretty tough. So you definitely have to plan stuff out and your route, and like just pay attention to where enemies are and hiding spots and all that stuff. So I guess it's more of like a Dishonored in that way, but less simmy. And then Ghost of a Tale is such a cute game. So you play as like a little mouse on this like island, this like rat prison island. So you're a mouse and your enemies are the rats, but you can't fight back because you're like so small, and like you're like the furniture is like all, like the table is like as tall as you are because like it's made for rats, but whatever. So you are sneaking around in the beginning, and kind of like it's all in one big medium sized level. So you're kind of learning the level, unlocking shortcuts and all that stuff. And then eventually you kind of get like ways to not have to do stealth at all. But I like that game better than Styx, but it's overall less of a stealth game. So
very cool. I went to the Steam page and your curation bubble popped up immediately on the page saying, must play the charming tale of a mouse who bravely undertakes a quest to rescue his wife. Man, they're both interesting games. 2018 and 2014.
Yeah, and there's Ghost of a Tale has a sequel. We don't know much about it, but
okay,
I'm excited for that.
Are those games that you've gone back and played, or games that you played years ago?
Yeah, I played both of them like 3 or 4 years ago. I haven't gone back.
Nice. You've been delving into some older stuff. My recommendations would be, let me give 2, just first person, I guess, stealthy stuff if I'm thinking that way. What was the game they originally said? It was Dishonored, right?
Dishonored, yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, sticking with Arcane, I would tempt you to take a look at Deathloop. I think that is a very stylistically different game in terms of its art direction, but I think in terms of its how you get around that world, for sure. I think there's a lot of connective tissue there. Also, just Frenchness. Both games are aggressively French. And then the other one I'd say on the indie side would be Gloomwood. Is a great little stealth imsimmy kind of thing. Maybe more imsim than stealth. That one I'd say, but yeah, very cool.
Similarly, Prey 2017 is way less of a stealth game, but I feel like it's sort of
very cool,
spiritually related, and obviously like there's crossover creatively, but like yeah, I don't know. It has a similar flavor to Dishonored.
Yeah, stealth it's funny because like you can think of very mechanically, or you can think of it as sort of like a tone or something. You know what I mean? Like it's like slow paced and methodical and strategic. It doesn't necessarily need to be, oh, I'm stabbing everyone in the back. Like I know you can also play Dishonored in a very non-stealth way as well.
Yeah, that's a good point.
So.
This is a weird left field recommendation, but the Commandos games, sort of like old war themed top down isometric, but stealth games nonetheless.
Would you say the Commandos ones?
Commandos, yeah.
Oh, they're brilliant. Yeah,
those games are great.
Fantastic stuff. They just didn't they release a new one? Didn't I talk about it last year, I think?
Did they?
I might have gone crazy. No, somebody released a Commandos like. Commandos Origins came out in 2025, so there is a new one. Mostly positive, all reviews. I think I played something else that had a similar name. I'm trying to look on.
Some of the Me games people say are like.
Oh yeah, what's Commandos. That one called? There's a pirate one. Before they shut down.
Gambit?
Well, they did Desperados. Desperados is fantastic. That is more like Commandos. It's ranged combat shooting kind of stuff. Beautiful isometric art style. Desperados 3 is fantastic. And the other one was Shadow Gambit. The Cursed Crew had that really strong save scumming mechanic in it, which was very cool. And then they did Shadow Tactics Aiko's Choice, but I've not played that, so I can't tell you if that's any good. They did Shadow Tactics Blades of the Shogun as well. Seem to be well regarded. Another type of that. They might be more commando-y as well. But yeah, Commandos Origins. Apologies if anyone remembers that game I was playing that was like Commandos. God, it might have been Commandos. I don't think it was Commandos. Maybe it was Commandos. It might have been this game. April 9th, 2025. Yeah, I think it might have been this game. It was probably Commandos. New Commandos. But the old Commandos games are gorgeous. Oh, it's like Diablo and stuff. Just shit that never got old looking. Just always.
There's a guy who that art style is so like iconic to me, and I feel like games don't really look like that sort of pre-rendered, like crusty, somewhere between pre-rendered 3D and pixel art. And there's a guy that I follow on Itch who just releases assets he makes that look exactly like that. And I don't think he makes games. I think he just makes assets. And I'm like a fanboy for like just his assets. Like there's something about them that's they're like toy-like or something. They feel like play sets, war themed play sets or something. But yeah, the look of the Commandos games is fantastic.
Very cool. Very, very cool. Any other ones? Anyone want to throw in any others?
Yeah, I really liked the Snake Eater remake that came out like last year.
Yeah,
I played that over the holidays, and like again, going into it, I was like, man, I've already played Metal Gear Solid 3. I get it, but I was like, oh damn, this game really like the game was so much shorter than I remembered, so I loved it. And like, yeah, the active camo system, the new camera is great. It was the first time I did the there's a boss you can cheese in Metal Gear Solid 3 where the first time he's wheeled out, I think his name is the old guy. He's wheeled out in a wheelchair and you can snipe him. And like the 3 times I've played that game, I've always just killed him and never did the boss fight.
That's so
because
funny.
the boss fight requires stealth. But this time I was like, okay, I'm gonna do it for real. What I still did is when I got to that point in the game, is I pulled out my sniper rifle, killed him, got the achievement, and then reloaded my save. And then later properly did the stealth sniper fight where you have to crawl and really be quiet and like. But it was cool, and then I killed him. I felt that was like the peak of the game for me. I was like, I finally beat this boss properly, like 25 years later. So yeah, Snake Eater Remake was good. And if you've never played any of the Metal Gear games, they're always good. But even like, I specifically really like Metal Gear Solid's 5 stealth system, where if you get spotted, it'll go slow motion, and you have a little bit of time where you can shoot the guy.
5 is a great game, absolutely brilliant game. Yeah, well worth going back to. It's not that old at all, One more email here, Frank.
Yeah, from Peter asking about playing a game and overanalyzing them. Hey, Noclip, I have a question that intrigues me, as this is something that keeps me from enjoying the games the way I used to. Do you, as documentarists or fellow developers, often sit down to a game and find yourself analyzing too much of every aspect of the game instead of just enjoying it? As a hobby game dev, I struggle with this feeling very often and can't keep myself from disassembling the game mechanics and sometimes even the art instead of just taking it in. In some games, my brain is constantly computing how some feature of the game was made, and I try to figure it out what the devs went through to deliver some part of the game. I wonder if Jeremy or any one of you experienced such intrusive thoughts during your sessions.
Yeah, 100%. When I was playing Titanium Court, after playing 2 hours of it, I was like, oh man, I really like admire this game's design. And I was like, yeah, but wait, do I like it? Like I hadn't even stopped to consider if I liked the game, because I was just like, I don't know. I was just like, wow, there's so much craft on display here. Like, am I having fun though? Like I don't know. There's like a weird different parts of my brain. I find that certain types of game are more prone to that. Some game, like when I was playing Love Eternal, when I'm doing the platforming sections, maybe because it's so visceral and there's no like space in my brain for that, because it's real time, it's a very thin margin of error. I find that it's harder to get in my thoughts in games like that. But yeah, I don't know. I think the more I enjoy a game, the less difficult it becomes. And I feel like the analytical part of my brain, it's like a bell curve. It's like right when I start a game, I'm analyzing it, and then I get into it and stop analyzing it. And then once I've played too much of it, I'm back to analytical.
That's interesting. I feel like this might just be a byproduct. I mean, it could be that I've not made games, but it could also be a byproduct of me just not being particularly smart. But I have absolutely no problem with just being the gamer. I think there's a point at which I start wondering what I'd ask people if I was interviewing them, but it's not the same as like watching documentaries on YouTube or on TV, like real documentaries. I find harder, but here's like, this is, sort of being open about it. I don't think it's because I have a feeling of, oh, they did this, they did that, they did this. I think it's an ego thing. I think I find it hard sometimes to watch other people's, if it's too similar to what I do, if it's really good, sometimes it makes me feel like I should be doing better. You know what I mean? Like I had that with one of my favorite YouTubers of recent memory, I had that with. It took me a while to watch certain Nakey Jakey videos because I was like, fuck, man, that's all I used to do on GameSpot. Why don't I do that shit anymore? You know what I mean? Because it makes me feel like I don't want. It's not like I'm. Like I don't. You know, really like the guy and he seems really cool and I like his videos. And he's been very kind about Noclip and stuff, and he seems like an amazing dude. And I've caught up with everything since. They just released one on Rockstar Table Tennis actually, which I thought was pretty cool. But for there was a while there I remember where I like in the middle for a few years where I couldn't watch them because it would make me feel like self-conscious, like I wasn't doing a good enough job. It wasn't that I didn't like anything they were doing or was critical of it. It was totally the opposite. So yeah, I definitely have had times in my life where that was the case. But I guess if I was to watch a video game documentary, that would be very like, oh, that's an interesting choice, or wonder where they're going to go next. So that's the one area I feel like video game documentary in particular, like not necessarily like op-ed stuff, but like the doc stuff. Yeah, it's a bit like. It's a bit like the German person going home and playing the fucking train
like
game.
Like documentary simulator.
Yeah. But then if it's like something like 12 Days in Mariupol or a fucking Werner Herzog, great. I can't do any of that shit.
That's the thing is like if it's totally untouchable, like when I watch Ken Burns, I'm not analyzing him. He's the fucking GOAT. It's like you can't compete. Also, he's based very close to where I live in New England now. I want to go visit in fucking random town in New Hampshire.
If you could get him to do any series, what would it be?
Oh, that's such a good question.
History of scientific use of drugs or something.
That would be fucking awesome. You know? I would expect him to do that. I would love like
get Hamilton Morrison. That would
Hamilton Morris he needs a successor because he works in like corporate psychedelia now.
Does he really? Has he sold out?
Yeah, no, 100,000%. I still think he's an important voice in the world, but he works for one of the giant pharmaceutical companies that's trying to patent a psilocybin analog now. And
you're kidding? Like a synthetic one, or?
It's I can't remember exactly what it is, but basically like a synthetic psilocybin analog. But they're trying to
gas station and get yourself some
get some fucking
some mushroom go,
some spice. I would love a Emma Goldman documentary from Ken Burns would be
Who's Emma Goldman?
Answer. Anarchist revolutionary who also I believe was that, hold on, I have to confirm that this is right. It's been a while. I feel like she worked at a anarchist bakery in New England. Am I making this up?
Oh, cool.
But Emma Goldman, super interesting figure. I might be conflating her with someone else. It was an ice cream shop in Worcester. That's what I'm thinking of.
Wow.
Emma Goldman's Anarchist Ice Cream Parlor. I feel like there's like an interesting, I don't know. Yeah, like she's an amazing person, but I feel like there is sort of like a mass appeal angle you could tap into, that there's a few quirky details of her story.
Wow. She was born in St. Petersburg, looks like.
Yeah.
Wow, that's cool. Yeah, I've never heard of her before. I'm gonna read this. Maybe I'll just read the AI summary of her. Turns out she's an alien and she's still alive. Wow, 140 years, amazing. That's a good one. Hey, let's go. Let's finish on this one then. Wait. Sorry, I've totally cut off everyone else from this conversation. Frank and No Caps, do you guys have any feelings on this? Any watching videos or streaming or other op-eds or anything like that, or playing games?
I feel like it enhances my enjoyment. Even like playing Mouse PI, I was going through, I was like, this is okay. But then when I stopped to admire the craft, I was like, oh, I like this way more. And I was like, oh crap, the anime, we were talking about Ken Burns. The baseball cards made me think of Ken Burns' baseball documentary. I was like, oh shit, that's such a I don't know. It was like a good detail. So I feel like, it's like I'll tune out if if my brain's not engaged with it or not working. So thinking of the behind the scenes, I love watching Japanese like Sentai stuff, because the whole time I'm watching, it's like, how the fuck did they do that stunt? Is that explosion real? Is that a body double?
Right.
That is the thrill for me, is watching it. I'm not that invested if the aliens are going to take over Tokyo. That will never happen because the Sentai are too strong because they work together as a team. But it's like the even like locations. I forget that I was watching a Comic Cat documentary yesterday, and the establishing shot was the same thing in a Sentai show, and it's like because I spent all my time looking up behind the scenes where they film stuff, so it's like that enhances it. So yeah, I feel like I want that part of my brain to be enacted. Yeah, I mean, even like looking at old sprite stuff, I just like I've seen photos of like SNK artists working like illustrating in Photoshop, and they have the CRT output monitor. So it's like I feel like that having that on hand like enhances my experience. I don't ever feel like overwhelmed by it. Although in the case when I was playing Half-Life, it was like, oh my god, it's like too much pressure. But like other than that, I encourage any extra like distractions within my own brain.
Nice. What about you, No Caps? Any strong feelings on this one?
I've also never made a game, so I don't have that like technical knowledge to even think about that stuff. I would say I have like less of a tolerance for like sticking with games that are mediocre or good enough since I've played too many games, but I definitely get it with videos like you. Like I just don't even watch that many video game videos anymore because I'm like, I don't want to know what people are thinking. I don't want to know about their thoughts that are better than my thoughts. Like, but then I will get inspired by videos that aren't video games, and I'm like, oh, that's a really cool thing. Like I've never thought to incorporate that. Like if I'm watching stuff a history video or like anything that's not video games is more inspirational.
Yeah, it was cool. I was watching your about a week ago. You posted your latest patron update over on patreon.com/nocaps, and was it NoCapsBB on there too? Okay. Patreon.com/NoCapsBB. And it was interesting hearing you talk about like sort of crafty stuff as well, and how you were sort of like thinking about how to incorporate some of that stuff into not just your videos, but also your sort of day to day, like you guys were talking about last week, getting away from screens, touching grass, all that sort of stuff. We're complex things, our little brains, and they need lots of different types of nourishment. But video games give us so many of those types of nourishment, so maybe just play video games forever. Thank you, everyone, for the amazing emails, podcast@noclip.video. Thank you to all of our incredible patrons. On the update stuff, like I said, patron shows up. Metal Gear Asha episode 3 went up as well over the weekend. Everbloom episode 3 was supposed to go up today, but then I did the patron show, so I'll probably put it up tomorrow or Thursday, so it should be up as well. It's all about character art. Oh, that's why it was supposed to go up. YouTube's fucking subtitle editor just was not accepting anything on 2 different machines. I could try to do it on a bunch of stuff, and it just would not take the upload. It wasn't the file format. I tried it somewhere else. I did different versions, yada yada yada, and I just didn't want to launch a video without captions. So so that's why it didn't go up yesterday/today. But it will be up, should be up by the time you listen to this podcast. It might be up on Friday. So if you got this at like midnight Pacific when it went live, it mightn't be up, but give it a couple of hours and we'll have it up there. Yeah, bunches of stuff coming out as ever. Exciting new stuff coming to Noclip and Noclip 2 as well. We've been having a chat. Well, we're going to have a chat about some Noclip 2 related shenanigans in the next week or so. And Jeremy, you won't be here next week. Take some PTO.
Yes, I am. My lovely girlfriend is coming into town, and
Love it.
We're going to go do Massachusetts bullshit.
Love it. Off to the Witch Museum, off to meet Ken Burns.
There's a torture museum in Salem, which it's so
Cool.
dinky. It seems like it's like one fucking room, but I want to go because they have.
That's all you need when you're fucking torturing people.
It's true. It's very dense. But they had a T-shirt that I was unconvinced until I saw a T-shirt that they sell there, and it's a picture of a guillotine, and it says "Wish you were here."
That's pretty good. That's pretty good.
I just want that shirt.
Who can I talk about this? I can talk about it vaguely, maybe. I was working. God, I feel like I'm in my head. I'm like, did I talk about this on another podcast? And will people be able to put the pieces together if I did it? It's about Placerville, Old Hangtown, as we know. Did we talk about this on here?
I don't think so.
I do too many recordings of things. I was talking to somebody recently about. They were attempting to lobby, or somebody was attempting to lobby the local Placerville government about getting rid of the noose on a sign at like a strip mall that was in Hangtown, and the pictures that I saw when I went to Google Maps was just this big, like, Placerville City Plaza and like this noose hanging from a tree. And in the background is like a McDonald's.
Oh my God.
And a Starbucks. I'm thinking, yeah, I bet they did want to. And apparently there was like a fight between some of the corporate interests that were there. I think our McDonald's franchises still, I think they are. And the local government who were like, no, we're not getting rid of that sign's been up there for 50 years. So it's like, Jesus Christ, guys. I don't know. It's a noose hanging from a tree. Maybe, you've already fucking changed the town crest. Maybe you should, finish the job. But yeah, anyway.
It always did crack me up that you're walking down the mainstream Placerville. There's a fucking guy hanging from a...
It's like, yeah.
There's just like a mannequin hanging from a noose.
Hanging from a noose. And then I have pictures of my parents outside. That beautiful, like, I don't know what you call it. There's a name for this style. Every city's name has been written in it. It is a thick style, kind of looks good on a brick wall. And inside of the letters, it is like drawings of, like different patterns and stuff. You know what I mean? It's like a bombastic bubble writing that says like New Orleans. You know what I mean? Like that thing. There's probably a name for it. They have one on a beautiful brick wall. We were eating dinner in this like kind of like bar restaurant that's right on the corner there. Beautiful stuff. And you look at the window and it just says Hangtown.
It's like, it's not really like a proud historical, like it's like frontier justice at best.
Yeah. It's exactly. It's not like they were, it's obviously it wouldn't be around if it was the really, 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 really bad type of hanging. But if there might be some like argument to be made that there was, like French Revolution, right? They all think like guillotining Robespierre and Marie Antoinette and all that was like an act of, social revolution and justice, which is very arguable. And, I'm not going to, again, wasn't expecting to talk about the French Revolution twice on this podcast. But yeah, this is just like this mediocre, we hung a bunch of random people who may have stolen from us.
Yeah.
Or maybe we just killed them because they were the two foreigners in town.
It's like if Salem was like, welcome to Salem. And there was a big picture of Giles Corey being crushed by stones. Like it's, it definitely happened there, but is it worth putting on the billboard?
You could have like a logo with like a bunch of like witches' hats resting on a lake or something.
They do put up witches' hats around Halloween. Although, do you guys know Giles Corey's last words? Because it's one of the hardest lines in history. No. So Giles Corey, a guy accused of witchcraft, and they pressed him to death with stones.
Because they're like warlocks can't fucking
He's
stones.
Too strong.
They're too strong. Yeah.
So his allegedly his last words were they were like, "Are you going to confess, or we need to like crush you to death with stones?" And they kept putting stones on him until he was pressed to death. And famously, his last words were "more weight." Like he was like, "Fuck you" until the end. He was like, "Fucking keep throwing the rocks on there."
Wow.
Yeah. What a hard line.
Let's end the podcast on it. There we go. More weight. Maybe he just wanted to die. He was like, this is fucking really sore.
It might have been more stones or more weights, but it's
more stones.
I think it was more weight.
It's beautiful. I love it. It's good. It's good shit. Patreon.com/Noclip, Patreon.com/Noclip2 if you want to support us. Have you noticed we've done 278 episodes of this podcast and we've never once made you listen to some shit about Squarespace or fucking betting or any of that stuff? Have you noticed that? That's because of our patrons, and also because we think it's cooler to not do that. So if you'd like us to keep doing that, we can hold a gun to your head right now, dear listener. We can be like, look, don't make us do it. Don't make us sell out like Hamilton Morris. Don't make us
sell fucking kratom and synthetic cannabinoids.
We'll do it. We'll do it. He says as they're doing white label video work on the side. We'll do it. We'll force you to listen to the ad for the dick pills. We'll do it. We'll make you do it. No, we won't, folks. Patreon.com/Noclip. Think about it. Think about it. All right. What's everyone else doing for the rest of the week? I'm going to chat to our Hades friends tomorrow. I'll send them your best regards, everyone.
Get some lobster rolls.
Are you just saying like Massachusetts fucking shit? Are you actually going to get lobster rolls?
Oh, yeah. When Chelsea comes to town is the only time I eat lobster rolls. I don't eat lobster rolls regularly. They're too fucking expensive and not worth the money.
Special occasion.
Yeah, exactly. It's like I'll allow myself to get one.
They wouldn't taste as good if you had them every day, right?
They probably would, honestly, but they're fucking delicious. It's just they're like $35 for a hot dog bun full of meat.
It's because they all come through the Strait of Hormuz.
Yeah.
Do you like the cold or the hot?
I like the hot. I hate fucking mayonnaise. If I liked mayonnaise, the
He
cold would
hates
probably
mayonnaise.
be good. But I'm so staunchly anti-mayo.
It becomes a thing when we're filming in Europe or Japan.
Or
as it turns
Japan,
out.
when you order a pizza, you get mayonnaise and corn on it.
Yeah. Remember the pizza? Do you remember the name of the pizza that was on that?
The double mayonnaise pizza.
Double mayonnaise.
It was on a fucking placard in my room taunting me.
I love mayonnaise. I'm not getting double mayonnaise. That's too much. That's mayonnaise spread on mayonnaise, which that's like a...
Japanese cuisine
that's a crime.
is either the best or the worst thing ever. Whenever I have Japanese food, it's either the best meal I've ever had or one of the worst.
There you go. Frank, how do you feel about mayonnaise when you go to Japan?
I don't think I've had it. I don't think I've experienced.
What about the Kewpie mayo? Like, have you ever had okonomiyaki?
I have not.
You've been to McDonald's? Everything there's got fucking mayo on it. Yes, I did go to a Japanese McDonald's. Jeremy was there too.
The Tommy Taro muffin.
I think I've had sushi with mayonnaise on it.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah, but I feel like that's a common, even in California, like that's a super.
Oh, that's true.
Yeah,
You're right. You get like a big, like one of those weird ones, like a dragon roll or something.
Yeah,
and
it's
just
only
got
like red
58
mayonnaise or
things in
spicy.
it.
It's like
Yeah.
spicy mayo is super common, like with any tuna rolls or
So
whatever.
that's
Does
it.
California roll have mayo in it too?
It might do actually. You're right. It's
can't
crab and avocado, is it?
Yeah, it's like a fake
California.
crab.
Fake crab, yeah. Yeah, the most California thing you can have. Vegetarian crab and avocados. Avocados. Fresh avocados. What was I saying? Oh yeah, what are the rest of you guys doing? No cap. What are you up to for the next rest of the week?
I'm gonna
Tell me all your
go rock
plans.
climbing.
Oh, hell
Are you
yeah.
gonna do it?
Yeah, because I went over the weekend. I got my membership because there's a deal, so now I have to go.
Nice.
Hell yeah. That's awesome.
Exactly. Can't quit the gym. You gotta go. That's awesome. Hell yeah. Have fun. Go climb some rocks. Have you done it before? Do you do bouldering or do you do the up to the top
Bouldering.
or bouldering?
Yeah, I don't like the rope situation. It's just
You don't want to auto belay or whatever?
no. Those.
You know, that stuff.
I mean, I'm sure it's fine, but I would rather just go up, go down, like by myself, and not have like an extra thing to worry about that could go wrong.
That's cool.
But yeah, I've been before.
I'm scared of heights, so I don't do that stuff. But I bring my daughter, and she is not scared of heights. She couldn't give a fuck.
Kids are so good at that. There's like all these kids. They don't weigh anything, and they're not scared.
Yes.
They just fly up.
Their strength to weight ratio is just outrageous. I don't think in my entire life I was ever able to do the monkey bars. I've always been like, nah, man, you're carrying too much fucking cargo. It ain't happening.
Too much
Your
monkey.
arms aren't that big. Yeah, exactly. Frank, what are you doing for the rest of your week?
I mean, I stream a lot. I go to the gym. I watch Euphoria, and then I've been getting more and more friends into pinball. So there's a million places we need to check out.
Oh yeah, we didn't talk about pinball. We talked about pinball a lot last week. We'll catch up on pinball stuff next week, for sure as well. Yeah. All right, that's a pod, folks. And have a great week. Play some video games. Support indie devs. Support us. Support yourselves. Support each other. Support buildings that require supports. And we'll see you next time. Bye.